Hello, I'm Mantastic and Fantastic, and today I'm going to be doing a first impressions video of the new Samurai 3 Pantheon. So Gung Ho has taken the Pantheon series to a new level, so to speak, because we now actually have 7-star base Pantheon cards. So historically speaking, we've had 5-star, and then the introduction of 6-star, and now 7-star. So during regular Godfest, the rates for rolling a 6 versus a 5-star Pantheon card were a sizable difference. But during Super Godfest, during the Player's Choice Godfest, which we are having right now, 6 and 5-star cards are actually equal rolling odds. So we don't know how bad it's going to be to roll these new 7-star cards, and the main issue of this is that it's possibly setting an unhealthy precedence of that the new cards are going to be so much harder to roll. They're even rarer than what is considered common cards, because Pantheon cards are supposed to be more common. They're kind of like the starter building blocks of your monster box, and the fact that they're going to be even harder to roll, and if they're actually valuable, is going to be problematic, because during regular Godfest, Pantheon cards have lower odds of being rolled than a Godfest exclusive, so it's going to be quite challenging to acquire these cards at the same time. But with all that being said, I still want to just at least take a look at this new Pantheon series, because it is offering us something somewhat new and exciting overall. So all the cards here have God typing, so in theory they can be used on Dark Metatron teams or the new Valkyrie Non, if that's something of interest to you. But they all feature that God typing, powerful awakenings, a very interesting leader skill, and interesting active skills. So the first card is the fire one here, and he has obviously very heavily skewed stats towards health. His active skills change all orbs to fire, wood, heart, and heart orbs. So basically a Verdandi style board changer. Like, we know this is a pretty familiar board changer. It's nothing particularly new nor exciting. But then you lock fire, wood, and heart orbs, and that is what is considered exciting, because we have experienced terrible spinning mechanics. Like, I don't think anyone really enjoys the spinner mechanic, but there are two ways to overcome it. You can either lock the orbs, which is done through something like the Mega Woken Sharius Roots, but it's only a rainbow board, or use the Persona Collab Inherit to also lock the orbs. So other than that, you can use something like Change the World, so like Miru or base Yomis. Those are possible options for negating the spinner mechanic. So it is a nice fact that we now have a tri-elemental board changer that can lock the orbs. Obviously, it's going to make it a lot easier for teams that actually utilize these colors, so it can be a nice inherit to have. And as a sub, they're providing 3 team health, which is obviously going to be helpful. It's going to increase your overall bulk. Like, if people who have ideals at this point in time, you've kind of seen how much health she offers your team with the Super Awakening, as well as her regular Awakenings and huge weighted stats. Like, it's pretty magical what you can do. You can push teams with technically no health multiplier into thresholds that are going to be significantly higher. He also has the follow-up attack awakening at the same time, so he has a synergistic active skill with his awakenings. But it's their leader skills for the entire Samurai 2 series that is perhaps most interesting. So all the Samurai 2 cards offer rank experience times 1.5. So 1.5 is the same as Ganesha, but all of these cards here actually have an attack multiplier. They actually they all have a 6 times attack multiplier, if I'm not mistaken. And that's significant because Ganesha has nothing. Saline has 2 times. Yes, you have to actually match a few more mechanics, but you also get a damage reduction at the same time. So you have 6 times damage, you have fire if you match fire and wood orbs, as well as a damage reduction component. So instead of using double Ganeshas, you can now use double of these Samurai 3 series. And you may not even need to lead or swap. Like, you don't need to have Lee or Matcha. So this definitely lowers the need to have those cards, assuming you don't have Saline, who's technically 1.8 times rank experience. So this can definitely open up new doors for players and certain team building farming compositions, because if you can't overcome their color clause matching, you might be able to free up sub slots, possibly do things a little easier. But you also have to remember that in order to gain the damage multiplier, you have to actually match 2 colors. So you can't actually swipe the board. Like, some players, when they use Ganesha or Saline swaps, they use monocolored board changers for a swipe, which is easier to do, but you cannot do that in this case here. So just keep that in mind. The next is the blue card here, and he's got 3 skill boosts, which is definitely going to make it easier for leader swapping potential, because you have 3 skill boosts. Ganesha and Saline have 1. This is definitely a big advantage over that for team building compositions. They also have triple God Killer. So we already know that Sharius Roots has triple God Killer. We also know that number 6 has triple God Killer. And there's other good God killing options like Fallen Angel Lucifer and Ragnarok Dragon. But this is quite powerful overall, in all honesty. Like, you have a nice God killing card. So it can lower the need to have number 6. And remember, number 6 just comes with skill bind resist. This card comes with 3 skill boosts. I would take 3 skill boosts over 2 skill bind resist basically any day. Sharius Roots is still fulfilling different roles to a certain extent because it's a great leader in terms of traditional endgame content. Also has a different style active skill as well. But the blue card here, they reduce your health to 1 and then deal 200 times attack damage as water to a single enemy. And then for 1 turn, void damage, absorb shield. So damage, absorb, shield. Basically, absorb means Sopdet, Parvati, Vishnu, Hera Dragon. You're ignoring that. So this would be the shortest cooldown active skill for any absorb spawn. Actually, I feel like I should have kind of cropped a little less there. So you can see his cooldown is only 15 turns. So 15 turns for a Fujin style active skill. The reason why it's so short is because you're nuking your health to 1. Anytime you inflict a health penalty on yourself or you cause no skyfalls, you shorten the active skill cooldown because, well, you're having a penalty to go alongside of a benefit. So this definitely can be useful. But at the same time, you also have a button built in. A 200 times attack button is actually pretty reasonable. And this definitely can have merits for your co-op farming setup. Like, you can use them as a leader. They come with their own button. You can throw on, say, a co-op boost, awakening, weapon assist, and he can deal even more damage, so you might be able to button through certain content. So this can open interesting doors, I feel, for farming purposes if that is your cup of tea. And then again, you have to match water and fire orbs to get the 6 times damage, but you always have that rank experience even when you leader swap. I'm going to be scrolling down to the wood card here. I'm just trying to manage multiple windows at the same time. Let me just make sure I got everything in the correct windows. There's so many windows I have open at the same time. Okay, it's just +2 combo. Okay, so date, this card here, the green card, they have the ability to reduce your own health by 50%, deal 100 times attack wood damage to one enemy, and then for 1 turn +2 combo count. So the main drawback of this is that it's only 100 times attack. It's most likely not going to be enough to kill anything, so that is definitely a little problematic. Reducing your health by 50% is definitely useful for Dark Metatron teams, and their attack while below 50% awakening, which they have 3 of, technically acts as 777 combo. Each of those provide 2 times damage, so they're equivalent to 7 combos when you are low health. So for players who are using Dark Metatron that don't necessarily have like Izanagi or other reliable health resetting actives, this may be a reasonable card to throw on your team. Of course, the major drawback is that they're green, so when you use Dark Metatron's active, you're not necessarily tapping into their full potential, which is going to be a bit of a drawback. But it is possibly something to consider, but I feel like this card here is a little less amazing overall. But another thing to remember is that it is providing +2 combo count on what is arguably the shortest cooldown for that type of mechanic, because you have the self-nuking, like you're hurting your own health. That's why it's only an 8-turn cooldown. So again, for certain farming builds where you need to have +2 combo count very quickly, this can be a possible solution, but I'm a little less impressed with this card overall. And then we come to the yellow card here. And the yellow card here is actually quite exciting. They have 777 combo. They naturally have 777 combo, and that is going to be a big deal. It also has the god typing, so your your Athena, Non, and your Dark Metatron teams are going to love this card because it's got 2 skill boosts, 777 combo, 2 skill bind resist, full bind immunity built into that special final awakening. And this is an incredibly hard-hitting card. This is going to be quite amazing. And their active skill changes all orbs to water and light orbs, and then lock water and light. So then suddenly, Yusuke now has another option. But the best part about this is that it's going to lock the board for Yusuke. So there are spawns that require you to make a VDP, so a 3x3 box, and they have spinners. So you use this card's active skill, you lock the board into your 2 colors. It's just like a regular board. You ignore the spinners, you make your VDP for Yusuke, you're going to be on your merry little way. I'm pretty excited about this card. It's going to definitely make your life significantly easier playing through a lot of hard content because, well, you're basically countering the spinning mechanic while having a bi-color board changer. It's kind of, in a way, a bit of a reverse of Yusuke. Yusuke gets the same bi-color board changer, but instead of locking, it unlocks the board, so you could actually at least get the full board. So Yusuke is usually more useful as a general rule, but this Light Samurai 3 card is going to be useful for those niche situations where you need to actually lock the orbs to prevent those spinners. And then again, their leader skill is similar. Like, you have to match light and water orbs, kind of like Yusuke, for 6 times attack, but you also gain the rank experience. So a pretty powerful card all around, in my opinion. And then finally we come to the purple card. And this purple card here is pretty amazing in his own right. You've got triple skill boost, but you have 3 VDPs. And with 3 VDPs, you have incredibly high amounts of penetration potential. It's going to be one of the best VDP cards possibly in the game. And the fact that they are balance typing means they can take any killer Leighton. So he can be incredibly specialized for what you need. And what is perhaps his best aspect is his 3-turn active skill. So for his active skill, it's for 3 turns, no Skyfalls, and then poison all enemies. Pretty irrelevant what it actually does, but the fact that it's 3 turns combined with his 3 skill boosts mean you're able to inherit something over top of him, and it will charge up quite quickly. Like, in theory, his 3 skill boosts negate his 3-turn active skill cooldown. So let's say you need to inherit a bicolor board changer like Sheena from the Heroine event. You have the bicolor board for dark and light, and you're able to form that VDP, and you can pierce your way through. An incredibly nice situational sub to use when you need to have lots of VDP potential. Like, for instance, the current Anniversary Quest 2 dungeon, level 50, has basically 4 VDP bosses. So this would be an incredible card to have if it was available at that point in time. So again, this can be used on Dark Metatron teams because of the God typing. And to a certain extent, Dark Metatron usually does have enough VDP potential, but let's say you need a little bit extra, you can throw it on there. So I feel like this card is actually pretty exciting overall. And then his leader skill is kind of like the others. You get the 1.5 times rank experience, which is the same as Ganesha. And then light and dark, matching light and dark reduces damage and provides 6 times attack. So as a whole, this Pantheon is incredibly powerful. Arguably one of the best Pantheon series to be released, which is not necessarily a surprise because they are 7-star bases, the first 7-star base Pantheon cards, and they're probably going to be incredibly hard to rare and roll at the same time. So I'm doubtful that the average player will have many of these cards, but for those that are fortunate enough to roll them, they are going to be at least be able to advance their own level of progression much more quickly. So let me know what you think about this new Pantheon in the comments below, as well as the precedence it's setting for 7-star Pantheon series. Hopefully you'll have a fantastic day. I wish you all the best of luck in your own pet adventures, and happy puzzling.